What's up, ladies and gentlemen? The Podfather Nate here from the Journey into Comics podcast, the flagship show of the Journey into Comics network. I just want to make sure you guys know you can tune in every single Monday for a brand new episode of our show, where if it's comic book related, we've got you covered.
What on earth is that? It's a Journey into Comics network production! I'm a dude who likes brews. It's time for Brews with Dudes. Juicy.
Hello there, and welcome to the first ever Brews with Dudes post-game. So what this is going to be is after we air our regular episode, we're going to, because we're never done. You know that. You know, when we're drinking beers, you know that we're not done after we turn off the mic. That's not the way it works.
No, we get wrecked.
Yeah, you got to have a couple more beers. So what we're going to start doing, we think, is this is going to be posted only to the Patreon. It'll be shorter. We're only looking for 10, 15 minutes. Just a little extra analysis, drink one more beer or something. Tonight we've got one beer from Central State Brewing Company. It's a collaboration with Bare Hands, and we just did a whole episode of Bare Hands. So we're trying to keep with that. We've also got a little bit left of one of our beers from the episode that we're still trying to break down. The Double Thai PA Thai Milkshake.
I keep looking at it, wanting to drink it, but I don't either because I still feel it in my mouth.
Longing eyes, like I'm sitting here talking to you, and I'm just like, turn around.
By the way, there's that beer.
Yeah, exactly. So, we're going to dive into the Highway Strawberry, which is a double India Pale Ale with strawberries, mint, and lime. It is 9%.
This sounds real weird.
I'm excited about it. So, Brett, tell us a funny joke while I pour.
Ooh, okay. One of the most recent ones I haven't seen. So this kid is in the middle of a court disagreement about custody, and mom and dad beat him, so they want to keep the kid with the family. So they say, "Why don't you go with your aunt?" Kid says, "No, my aunt beats me too. Every time I stay with my aunt, she hits me harder than mommy does." So they offer the grandparents. The it's like, "Nah, my grandma and grandpa aren't good people. They mistreat me too." So after much consideration, the courts give the kid the option to choose his own guardian. And so the kid formally writes it down and says, "I choose the Cleveland Browns because there's no chance they're going to beat anyone."
Classic. Classic. That's good. All right. So
Cleveland did just have a perfect season last year.
No wins?
0 wins, 16 losses.
Fools.
Cheers to them.
All right. Here we go. Highway Strawberry from Central State and Bare Hands Brewing.
Oh, that smell.
Holy shit. There's a lot going on there.
Oh, my God.
That's minty as fuck.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
That's a beer hito. It's like a mojito.
Yeah.
Mojito beer.
Goodness gracious.
The best mojito I ever had was in Las Vegas.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
It was one of those swim-up bars.
Ooh.
And I was like, I've never had a mojito before. I don't know what's in it, but give me one.
Right, I'll take one.
And I see him dropping mint in there and muddling, and I'm like, this is going to be good.
What am I getting into?
And it was. It was.
How do you like that with beer, though? I swore this was going to be strawberry, but I'm not getting... I'll need another drink, but I'm getting mint.
Mint.
Overpower.
From the first sniff to the first taste,
Ooh.
Back end was mint.
Let's see if it grows on us.
One more.
Okay, here we go. That's minty as fuck. I'm still not getting any strawberry. A little bit of lime, but definitely mostly mint.
With a mojito, you do squeeze a lime into it. It's garnished with a lime.
Oh, my goodness.
I got a strawberry smell a little bit there.
Ooh, this was strong.
It's weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
And man, we were just talking about how this milkshake is from Bare Hands. And this is the second one where it's just like I'm flabbergasted.
Yeah, we still got a bit of the Thai milkshake double Thai IPA.
And as we learned when we read it, it was mango raspberry were the two fruits.
I just drank some more of it, and just, God damn it, it's so good.
I saw you, and I'm jealous. I have my own. I could drink it. I don't want to yet. I want this. I want this in my mouth.
I'll put that away for a minute and try to focus on this Highway Strawberry. I guess I should mention that on the can, there's a strawberry that's robbing something. So Highway Strawberry.
Highway robbery.
Yeah.
They could have called it raw berry.
They could have Robberry.
But, I mean, that kind of makes me lead to the gutter a little bit.
I know.
With that raw berry.
Take it easy, Barry. We could always use more berries in the world, though. Berries can go raw whenever they want.
Because berries go raw is one of the biggest reasons we have alcohol. So
there's no such thing as vegetable protection. Although when I was young, I used to detassel corn, but it wasn't quite detasseling. I seriously put what looked like condoms on the corn stalks.
Queer.
It was weird.
I'm sorry.
I was a vegisexual or something. I don't know. That was bad. Sorry.
I thought about doing detasseling, but that would have really sucked for me.
But as a 14-year-old having that kind of money, because you got paid over minimum wage, so it was tight.
The money is what really wanted me to get into it, but my own personal body couldn't handle it. So we talked about earlier on the first segment that I did some yard work. I had a long day for my day off.
Mm-hmm.
All I did was pull weeds out of a flower bed for it's actually one of my customers at work. She happens to live a block away from me. And so I do yard work for her.
What a sweet guy.
The compensation I get is she has 60 to 80 records stashed away of her late husband, and her son. And her son has already said he doesn't need them or want them.
Mm-hmm.
So she's been doing like garage sales. She told me she will pay me in records to do miscellaneous work for her. So I clean her gutters. I clean up certain flower beds. At the beginning of spring, I do 1 day of hard work. At the beginning of fall, I do 1 day of hard work. And half the time, she still gives me like $20-$30.
That sounds like a really sweet deal.
It's great. And she's a sweetheart.
Yeah.
One of the nicest ladies I've ever met. She's a regular customer at Grindstones. If she comes in before my shift, she says she wants to sit there and wait until I get there.
Mm-hmm.
Because she wants me to serve her.
That's cool.
So she's a good lady. Her name's Junebug.
That's about as sweet as it gets.
It is. So I worked for her today and did some yard work for her, and then went home and quintessentially did my own yard work a little bit. And I'm just a little exhausted.
I bet. That's what Saturday is going to be for me.
Yeah.
It's going to be... I just did it last week, but I need to do it again. I'm borrowing someone's weed whacker. It's like a fucking high-end weed whacker. It's a steel, so it's a fucking monster.
Nice.
I'm going to hit the yard one more time real good, and I think that'll be it. I think if I hit it really hard one more time, I won't have to weed again for the rest of the year. I'll still have to mow, but I won't have to weed again.
I was... there are, in a couple of her flower beds, she has some pesky roots popping up. I was taking, like, the equivalent of bolt cutters, but like gardening cutters, and cutting shit off at the stump. And, then I have to cut it up in segments to bag it up and put it, at the curb. And,
Oh, wow.
And
we don't do that shit. We just run shit over with the mower.
These are like tree roots,
I
like
gotcha.
thick roots.
And we have a fucking fire pit, so.
Yeah. So it was a little, it was my day off. I could have relaxed, but I get some sense of joy out of here's someone who can't do this work.
Mm-hmm.
She has flower beds that are just getting overgrown. She used to go out and trim them once a week, and she just can't do it anymore.
And the fact that something like that, like, because honestly, like, I like doing that kind of work. I like making things look good, but I forgot for months, and the landlord had to be like, hey, man, can you take care of this? I'm like, oh, yeah, of course. Because that's the thing. It's awesome that it's like she could just let shit go, but she's like, I'd love it if someone could fucking do this. And you're like, if it's going to make you that happy, and it's only going to take me a couple hours, like, you put some headbuds in, and it don't matter. You just listening to music, that's what I do.
Yep. My phone was dying today. I did wake up later than I expected to get to her house, so I left with a dead phone. But what I was going to say, it's weird that I'm almost more willing and apt to go do her stuff for her than I am my own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
My yard's not overgrown. I rent. I don't take care of the flower beds because I'm not going to pay a bunch of money to make the flower beds look good. But
We're expected to here.
I mow, and I make sure my yard looks good.
Mm-hmm.
But if she calls me and says, hey, I need your help, I'll drop everything of my yard work to go do hers for her. Because I know she can't.
Mm-hmm.
And, I've built a friendship out of it.
Yeah.
She's someone who not only do I help her out a little bit at work, she gives me money, and she's going to give me records.
Yeah.
She also comes to my place of work,
right,
and is a patron there, and tips me every time.
Yeah.
And
that relationship of just taking care of one another. Like,
I was sneezing up a storm. I've been still sniffing, like my allergy medicine's been shit today. My face is buried in weeds. Of course, it's going to be terrible no matter what. But afterwards, I'm like, I got to go shower right now. I got to wash this pollen off of me. And we started talking. And I stood there for another hour and a half just talking with her. And that human connection is really good. And, especially with the generation gap.
absolutely.
I love being that guy that can still help the older generation. I actually just found out another customer of mine is moving 2 blocks away.
Yeah.
She was going to hire a mowing service.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck that.
Yeah.
It's going to be expensive. I'm going to charge you less.
Way less.
Way less. Because I want to help you.
Mm-hmm.
She's like,
and you already like me.
She's like, will you shovel my driveway in the winter? I'm like, duh.
Sure.
At least like once a day, twice a day if I can. Like,
yeah.
I will do what I can.
Yeah.
And that's a bigger help than her hiring a professional service that she has to pay for constantly. And
because if it snows, you run over there at the beginning of the day and you shovel it, and then it snows at 2, and she can maybe even without even telling you, you just do it. You're like, I'm looking outside. It covered my driveway. I know it covered yours. It'll take me another 10 minutes to run down to your house, shovel your drive too.
I have an able-bodied roommate. His name's Zach fucking Davidson.
Right. He's a decent guy.
Shout out Zach Davidson. He can fucking shovel too.
Right.
So if I can go help someone else shovel, and I guess the best part is, these 2 ladies, they know my work schedule.
Mm-hmm.
So if they say, hey, this is when I'm going to leave for work, I can shovel it 30 minutes beforehand, and it's done.
Yeah.
Guess what I'm doing when I'm not doing that? Sitting at home,
Mm-hmm.
doing nothing.
Oh, you
maybe
get off at
playing
3? I'll be there at 2:30, making sure it's good for you when you get back.
If you want it shoveled between 4 p.m. and 10 p.m., I'm not your guy.
Yeah.
Because that's when you come eat at my restaurant. But
building relationships, man, that's what it's all about.
How about this beer, though? You drank a lot more than me.
I'm drinking it.
I've been rambling.
You were talking. Everyone gets a chance to ramble.
You rambled at the end of the last segment. That was kind of my ramble.
Maybe that's what's going to be fun about these post games is when we just get a chance to just go off on it for a little bit because we're already lit as fuck.
You kind of get to see our progression as a listener. You get to go from, first beer. They're focused on the beer. They're focused on the beer. Second beer. All right, they're telling a story, but they're talking about the beer. By the fourth beer...
We're hardly even talking about the beer.
By the fourth beer, you get to know us.
Yeah, like we're really just getting it at that point.
And now, this is really the us segment.
It is. It is.
Kind of rambled on about my good deeds for the day.
Mm-hmm. Good deeds are fun.
Karmatic justice.
I feel like I do good deeds for some people, but when I think about that exact subject, strangely, I think about all the people that do those things for me. Which it may come across like damn Nick, like you fucking narcissistic fucking asshole.
I was just praising
I'm sure there
myself
are
for 10
people.
minutes.
I know there are people that would say like, Nick, you do this and this and this and this. You do plenty for me. But I immediately think of all the people that I appreciate. You know, like when I book shows, like I'm not a sound guy. So when people like Corey more lately, when those people stand up, you're like, fuck. Like
Corey has done an awesome job.
Yeah, he said this
Corey
is something I want
awesome
to do,
job.
so I'm going to teach myself how to do it and do it for you. Could I have taught myself how to do it? Yeah. Did I want to? Not as much as Corey did. I wanted to teach myself how to do it. Corey wanted to do it more. So he may look at it as me giving him an opportunity, but he definitely has to view it the way I view it, which is this is somebody helping me out do something I could not have done otherwise. And I've just got so many of those people that it's like, could I podcast without Nate's help? Yeah. But that's a lot harder. It's more effort. It's way more effort. So that's why I try to always give him and like Dongo their shout outs, like, couldn't do this without you guys. Always try to make sure I tell Corey fucking 10 times, like, thank you so much for your help. Thank you so much for your help. Yeah, I'm paying him, but first of all, it's lenient. You know, he understands. It's like, you know, and I've been in contracts where it's like, nah, dog, you said you were paying me this much money. I don't care if you blew it. Corey's not that guy. Corey's the guy that goes, yeah, I want something.
I mean,
but you don't have to go even more broke paying me. You didn't make any money? Just throw me a decent wage an hour and when we're good, you know?
That's really how things will prosper and will bloom and will work together, is if you realize you may not be able to contribute this exact thing right now, no matter what it is, but I'm still here for you.
And you find your thing.
Yeah.
Everyone's got their thing.
I'm sitting on a back burner right now for my thing. Guess what I'm doing? Bartending.
Mm-hmm.
Gaining experience doing that. As soon as you open up, man, I know we've talked about this in private. You know I'm there to help you.
Oh, it's going to happen.
I am not asking for much at all. I want to help you because the second I help you and it breaks through, I know that you are not going to leave me in the dark, and I don't need much from you to start off with. I've never
been one of those people to enjoy the spoils of things all on my own. So it's not like if I'm ever asking someone for help and it's like, well, Nick, I don't really feel like you paid me back for that while you're over there living luxuriously. You know, like my sound guy is never going, well, Nick didn't pay me, but then I see him over there fucking buying shots for everyone. You know, it's not like I'm like if I'm making money, if you're not making money, I ain't making money. If I walk up to you and say, I can't give you hundreds of dollars for doing your job tonight, it's like, that's okay, Nick, as long as you're not walking away with hundreds of dollars, you know? If Corey's only getting $100 for sound, you know how much I made that night?
Less than $100.
Not more than $100.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Guaranteed.
So it's like, and I understand where sometimes people are like, I totally get the time is money. And everyone has to find their moment where they decide, you know, like, I've got more important ways to spend my time, and you may, but I definitely appreciate guys like you that are like, I'm doing my thing and I'm working towards my thing, but I know my buddy Nick's over here trying to do his thing, and if I can help him, then we're all going to help lift each other up. I like the lift each other up economy.
That kind of goes towards like the beer community even. I'll take this towards a brewing company standpoint. I love that I see so many collaborations from brewing companies. It's not a competition. It's not about my beer is better than yours. It's about I like this style. I'm a brewmaster.
That's my thing.
I'm mastering this style.
Mm-hmm.
So even like right now we're drinking the Central State and the Bare Hands. Do you remember having Central State before this?
I remember the label because they have that same circle, but I don't remember a specific beer. But I'll tell you,
it was the Oat IPA that I brought to Casey Taylor's house,
which I hated because I don't like oat forward beers.
It was definitely weird with the oat forward and the IPA
Were they
factors.
the Oat Explosion?
Yes, the Oat Explosion.
That was them.
Yeah, that was the one I brought. We had just gotten into Grindstones, and I never had it, so I said I'm gonna, pay for a 4-pack, take it home. I get pretty decent benefits at my job because I've been there for so long that, I can get the beer at cost if I want to take it home.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my contribution to what were we watching? Or what? It wasn't 4th of July.
It was a pay-per-view. It was a WWE pay-per-view.
Was that the one reason I felt like there was
when we had the explosion?
I felt like it was a holiday, or was it just a pay-per-view?
It might have been a weird holiday because we were at Casey's, and Casey's never free.
Right.
So
right.
It was definitely.
That's why I'm trying to put my finger on it.
It could have been that 4th of July weekend. Which 4th of July weekend
it was not 4th of July. I remember specifically it was not. Man, it doesn't matter. We went to Casey's for a cookout. I showed up later. You and Zach had been there hanging out. Either way, I had brought the Oat Explosion down there. That was Central State. But back to kind of like my main point, it's not a competition between brewing companies. Even on a local level here in Lafayette, you've got Lafayette Brewing Company and Peoples. Those are the OG Lafayette brewing companies, like that have been in Lafayette. We've got 2 new ones, Taze and Brokerage. LBC and Peoples are not trying to squash them out.
No, they're all buddies.
Exactly.
They're all buddies.
And, I've seen so many collaborations, especially from Three Floyds.
They collaborate with
Three
everybody.
Floyds, yes. Stone Brewing Company also does a lot of collaborations. It's a brotherhood.
Yeah.
It is a community. It's a hobby. It's not about who's brewing the best beer. It is about, this is the beer I like.
And it's a thing. I just made the comparison on the show earlier, comparing my love for beer to my love for metal. Like, just like everyone, like your thing may be metalcore or tech death or death metal or black metal. In the beer community,
progressive,
there are things. There are hops guys. There are yeast guys. There's things. It's never ending. It's science. It will never, ever, ever end.
Is an experiment.
There's always somebody else that knows something different.
It is an experiment.
And I don't, honestly, like, I know Jason at Taste thing. I've got an idea about Corey at Brokerage. I kind of know his thing. I don't know what LBC's thing is. You know what I mean? Like, is he a yeast guy? Is he a hops guy? Like, what does he love? What does he love about beer? I don't know, but it will never end. And every time you talk to someone else, just because you're a brewer doesn't mean that we're gonna have things in common. Because you may like totally different aspects of beer than I do, And that's what I just love getting deeper. I love connecting my love of beer to my love of metal, because I remember we used to listen to shit that you and I would cringe at now. You know what I mean?
Oh, man,
And
absolutely.
every time we tell people, what was one of your first favorite beers? And we're like, and it's like Barry Weiss Shandy from Leinenkugel.
Seriously.
And we just go like no. I'm like,
that's kind of
who's
like
your first favorite band? Breaking Benjamin. You're like, what? It's like, yeah, things change. You get better at things. So my love for beer grows stronger every single day, just like
with every new beer. And
Yeah.
whether you like it or not, there have been 450 Beers, which is one of my favorite companies. First of all, because it's close to home, it makes it easy to be a good company, because I'll say LBC and Peoples, I'm not the biggest fan. I don't really ever choose to order their beers.
OBC doesn't do anything other than in-house.
Well, I know that.
People's, and that's just, and I don't know what to say about People's, is because I think the thing is that some of the beer, my favorite beers from them, they don't put out. So if I'm getting People's that I like, I'm at People's.
Well, that's just it. They're not really doing anything different.
Making the beers that make you want to take it home with you.
Exactly.
That's what you're saying.
And I'll even say, I work at a restaurant that that kind of specializes in the older clientele, and they ask for certain, like, what Peoples do you have? Peoples has been serving the same clientele for so long that they're producing the beer that their clientele wants.
Which is exactly what you
is
want.
Perfect for the monetary gain. But you have us younger generation wanting these crazy adjuncts, these crazy flavors. I know they've done one we had recently. It was a different version of the Space Cowboy, I believe.
Blood Orange.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So good. So good.
good.
I will never choose to go to People's or LBC because I know that I'm just going to have that same beer I've had every time.
I don't see as much experimentation from LBC, and honestly, I don't go there enough. I do like a couple of their beers quite a bit, and I really don't want this just to be a trash session. Admittedly,
I wasn't trying to bring it to that.
From People's, I just agreed. I specifically love it when they go outside the box. Their grapefruit mound builder, loved it.
Oh no, and
Blood Orange Space Cowboy, I'm there. If they announced it on Facebook that they were bringing that back,
I would make it a point.
I would
make it a point. And if I go to a bar, I kind of have my rundown scenario of what I want. If I'm in the mood for a stout, I'm going to look for a stout. I'm going to look for a different craft stout or a good craft stout that I know. Same with IPAs. With People's, specifically over LBC, because People's does distribute out locally, it's going to be last on my list because it's just kind of the same to me. It's become a little bland. Exactly. It's not bad, but I don't know.
It's good stuff. Well, we're not gonna drag this out anymore. Thank you guys for tuning in to our first post game, which you get exclusively on the Journey into Comics Patreon page. For just $1 a month, you can get all this exclusive content. This first one was half an hour.
And I was not trying to take it to a trash fest. I do
a little bit.
I do like our local brewers.
Don't worry about it.
I do like our local brewers.
It was just a little bit of beer drinking. We talked about the beers, and then we just we're going to go off on some tangents. So thank you guys.
At this point.
Yeah, if you're subscribed to the Journey into Comics Patreon page, you're getting all sorts of exclusive content. And if you're part of our Patreon page exclusively for Brews With Dudes, then holy shit, I appreciate the hell out of you. We buy every single beer. We go to all these places, all on our own dime. So any money that we're given, it's gone towards helping to make this thing just an extremely fun hobby. And like we said in the earlier episode, someone's like, what's the point of Brews with Dudes? And it's like, to learn and to have fun. I want to find new beers that I like. I want to enjoy new things. And I want to help other people on their journey. You know, I'm not going to sit up here and talk about the SRMs and the IBUs, and I'm not going to go over people's heads. I had this beer that tasted like strawberries, cracker nuts, and a hot dog from Wrigley Park. I'm gonna try to describe things in a way that makes it easy to understand. So thanks again to everybody. We're rambling again. I appreciate you, Brett, for coming over today to be part of the show.
I love being here. You know I do.
As well as the post game. So thanks again to you guys, and we will see you next time on Brews with Dudes. Post game.